Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so we're starting to live stream. Let's just check quickly. Shani, I think I've got it right. Yay. I know how to do it better now and quicker. Let's see. Yes.
Super quick to learn. Dynamic lady.
We are live, everybody. How exciting. Brilliant. Okay.
I've never done this one before. I've not done a Facebook Live.
Okay. So let's see what everybody has to say this beautiful day today. So Nungo is saying she's amped. Beautiful. Lucia, excited. Hello, my gorgeous friend. Patricia, achieved and excited. Beautiful. Mariana is exhilarated. Karen, super excited. You go, girl. I got it right, Karen. Rieta, welcome back from Namibia, my darling. So lovely to have you around. Excited. Nicola, yes, from beautiful Cape Town, also excited. Liani, also from the beautiful Cape Town city. Leniel from Chicago, welcome, gorgeous, happy. Patricia, bailando with joy. She's dancing with joy all the way from Angola. Leandra, excited. It's the best to have you with us, Leandra. And then we have Janelle is from Guyana. I keep thinking when I say that in South America because I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but welcome, Janelle. Yolandi, also from Cape Town, is inspired. Shani from North Carolina, grateful to be able to attend and be infused with new knowledge. Roxanne, welcome back, gorgeous, from Cape Town. She's excited to be back. Okay, we're getting check-in words, everybody. Check-in words. Laura, what's your check-in word? Another UK citizen member. How is she doing? Awesome. Oh, that's amazing. We have such wonderful check-in words. Michelle from KZN, what's your check-in word? And Miranda, what's your check-in word, darling? Laura says she's on top of the world. I love it. Well, you are sort of actually on top of the world. Hi, Nicole, also from Joburg. How are you? What's your check-in word? And Rachel, your check-in word? Michelle says she's excited. Oh, I'm loving this. Wow.
I'm loving this. I've never been in a room full of so many happy people.
See what happens at Spa Professionals Guild? We make everybody happy.
Perfect.
That's beautiful. Okay, so welcome everybody. I think we still have quite a few people to get back into the room. Okay, Janelle's coming back in. Hi, Nicole. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, everybody. So this morning, I just want to quickly tell you a little bit of my morning. I was very privileged and honored to be asked to speak for the Asia Spa Pacific Wellness Coalition for Andrew. And they have started, as part of their Asia Spa Association, they have started an education initiative. And I was very nervous because I was the first person to speak for, since the very first person to start this thing. Anyway, it was amazing. It was really amazing. I was like, I couldn't believe how also full of energy that room was. And those poor people, most of them are still closed. So most of them were from Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, that sort of area. And even though their businesses are closed, they are still closed. I couldn't believe it. They still have this energy, this inspiration, this desire to learn. And that gave me more energy this morning. Instead of exhaust me, which normally happens, it was a 2-hour workshop. I came out of that like an Energizer bunny. I went into another meeting, and at the next meeting, it was with these gentlemen. They all said to me, like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you so hyped up? And it was amazing. Truly, it was from the energy in the room. And I couldn't even see everybody, but just that chat box and just their whole eagerness to learn. So well done, everybody, for showing up today. We've got a subject to chat to you today that's very close to my heart. For most of you that know, I'm on and on and on and on about this sustainability thing. In fact, I've become like a broken record between telling people to keep moving, stay obsessed, speed of implementation. I'm starting to get like a bit like people know exactly what I'm going to say. And then my latest words and my latest missions in my personal life, as well as in our brand business, as well as at Spa Professionals Guild, is all about how do we do our part when it comes to sustainability. So yes, we can all Google, okay? We can all Google what we should be doing. But I have got to know Lucy over the last few months. We've done a few little lectures together. We came up with a document together. It was quite exciting because we were all actually competing against each other for this award. And that award process actually brought us together. Amazing. All four of us that were so-called competing against each other are now collaborating with each other. And I love it, because when people collaborate and businesses collaborate, and we can all learn from this, we all grow bigger and better. And remember, I've been chatting to everybody about abundance mindset over the last couple of sessions too. And one of the strong key factors in abundance mindset is collaboration, not competing, is collaborating to grow together. So, and that's what we're here to do. So Lucy is the expert. We have her now for 45 minutes or so, where she's going to share a starting point with us. She will also, and in case she forgets, I'm going to remind her right now, Lucy is going to tell us about her association, because we don't have one in South Africa. So I asked her when we prepped for this to please tell us about her association, because I feel that it is vital that we all belong to an association like this that is going to lead our industry into a new era and a new decade and it's all changing anyway. And we need somebody to guide us, somebody that's at the forefront of all these changes, that we've got a portal to go to, and we can say, right, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do our part. And Lucy will, anyway, I'm starting to explain what she's meant to for you. I'm so excited. You all have the worksheet I sent you on our communities group. So you're going to need that worksheet today. And Lucy, over to you.
Marissa, thank you so much. What an introduction. It's so great to be here with your tribe and give some contribution to you guys. I know you told me before when we spoke that interest from your group in sustainability is really rising. You get a lot of questions about it. And I know that everybody is learning, and it's something that we're all on a journey with, actually. So everything you told me that you've passed on as knowledge is entirely right. And I think one of the key things you said there is that there is a lot of information out there, and we can all Google that. And I've been doing that for years myself, with this huge passion for sustainability, coupled with many years in spa industry as well. So probably 25 years now my career has spanned over, which I can go into in a little bit more detail. But what we have done at the association is to bring together the science and all of the information that's out there on sustainability, and actually bring it down to a place where it's applicable and easily implemented in a spa situation, because sustainability is a huge subject, and it's a subject that spans across not just all industries, but all people's lives. And because, and also it's quite an academic subject at some levels as well. So it's how to grab the bits of information you need and make them relevant to your everyday spa situation. And that is hopefully what we are achieving. So just to give you a bit of my background, so everybody understands where I've come from. So I've had 25 years in the spa industry as a therapist, and then also having my own businesses from time to time throughout that career, mainly in workplace wellness and stress management. But I've also been on many different sides of the industry in terms of sales and product sales, in the media, and also as group spa director over 8 sites in Europe. So I've been lucky enough to have a really, really good 360 view into the industry from many different angles and from many different viewpoints, and all of the arguments and things that get put across from suppliers I understand, and all of the kind of aspects and viewpoints from operators I also understand. So yeah, like I said, I've been lucky enough to have that great kind of 360 view of the industry. And it was possibly about 2-3 years ago now that I was working in Europe, and we had many, many guests coming into the spas who were directly asking what choices we were making and why. And they were mainly directed towards sustainability questions. So what sort of chemicals were we using in the spa? Why have we chosen these products? What about the packaging? What about the ingredients? When you look down the supply chain, is anybody harmed? Is this a fair trade product that you're buying or supplying to us? So there was lots and lots of questions coming in, and my spa teams couldn't necessarily answer those questions on the spot. And I, as a manager, didn't always have the answers at my fingertips either. So it became really apparent to me that obviously there was a groundswell of desire from consumers to have more ethical and sustainable business practices, but also there was a real need for a lot more education within spas as to how we can practically do that. So that's where the idea came from. And I spent quite a bit of time studying sustainability and writing a business plan that I believed could then be practically implemented into spas. And this doesn't just come from my belief. I've had a lot of feedback, I've done a lot of research, and I have some incredible business partners alongside me as well. So we've all put it through the test, and we launched eventually last August, which was fantastic. So we have put together an organisation which is a member-based organisation, and it has 4 stakeholder aspects to it. So the main stakeholder, the main person that we're interested in talking to is the spa operators, but we also collaborate. And as Marissa said, collaboration is really important when it's coming to sustainability. This is not a subject that people can do on their own. It's a subject that's constantly evolving, and there's new developments coming through all the time. So collaboration is the key, and we have quite a few people that we collaborate with. So we have our brand partners who are direct suppliers to the spa industry, and they help us with education and development. We also have what we call sponsors, who are typically outside of the spa industry. So they could be solution providers like water waste and energy management, or there's other solutions they can provide as well that are quite kind of tech and innovative and future focused. And then we also have a consumer facing aspect to the association as well. So when your spa has got lots of advice from us and from our collaborators, and you've made certain achievements and benchmarks along the way, then you are prepared to stand up and say to your consumers, we are ready, we are sustainable, and we are transparent, and we can prove it in this way because we have these qualifications, we have these accreditations, and you can now search for us and trust that we are sustainable in our business practices. So, so lots of different aspects to the association and lots of different things you can do in there as well. So for your membership with us, and I'm not doing a big sales thing, but just so you know, we have lots of monthly campaigns and initiatives that we do. So at the moment we're running a spa waste not challenge. So we've done a whole set of education around circular economy and keeping spa waste to a minimum. And if there is any spa waste, how can it be reused, recycled, repurposed, and kept out of landfill? So the challenge is about identifying one waste stream and finding a solution provider, which we have a whole list of international solution providers, and keeping that part of your waste out of landfill. And then once you've achieved it once, you can probably identify another one and achieve it again and again. So that's just one example of our focuses, and we will be moving on to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are an incredible framework for sustainability, and I'd advise that you really have a look at those online as well, because they're fascinating. And we'll also be targeting some of the big topics like water waste and energy management, and hopefully making them exciting, because they sound quite heavy. Yeah, so today Marissa has asked me to do a workshop with you, which I'm delighted to do. And I believe that everybody has got some just the simple worksheet that we've sent out. Is that right?
Yes, everybody has it.
Yes. So if I share my screen.
Awesome.
Oh, you need to allow me, I think.
I've given you co-host. Let's see. Wait, oh, it hasn't done it. Make co-host. There we go.
Fab, thank you. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so with this is the sheet we should have. Okay. Am I sharing okay? I never know whether I'm sharing okay these days.
Now you are. Now you are.
So this is the sheet we should have. Okay, so it looks very simple, but hopefully by the end of this, you're going to have at least a small program of things to think about that you could implement in your spa starting from now. So if everybody's got that, I hope so. If not, just draw it out on a piece of paper, and we can get started with the workshop. Is that okay, Marissa?
Awesome. I think, is everybody ready? Just give us a thumbs up in the chat box, everyone. Is it good?
Yeah.
Give us some thumbs ups.
Are they there?
There we go. They're there. They're ready.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. Right. So here we go. So this is our spa sustainability workshop. Where to begin? So as you know, I've given you a little bit of background on the association, and we launched last August, and we thought we would launch really with our strongest network here in the UK. And we decided to carry out a survey just to find out really what people's opinions were, what people's knowledge was on sustainability at this current time, and what we could do to maybe help direct our education and focuses for the year ahead. Because it's not just about us saying, you know, this is what you should be doing. This, like we said, is a collaborative effort, and everybody's feedback is really, really valuable. So we launched the survey, and we actually got a surprising result, which was contributed to by spas over 44 countries. So 203 spas took place, and the main demographic that was reporting back on this survey were CEOs, general managers, spa directors, and spa managers. And these were also from my memory, and you can download the report from our website directly. But from my memory, the majority of these spa respondents were from either resort spas or hotel spas. So that told us quite a lot about our audience to begin with. And then we learned a lot from the information that was given back to us. And although that people thought they understood the word sustainability, actually, when we asked a few further questions, it was quite obvious actually that there was a lot of education and work to do, because 40% of the SPA respondents said they weren't really sure what sustainability was. And then when we look deeper into things like circular economy, sustainable development goals, or triple bottom line reporting, they were the kind of numbers who understood that went down. And if you want me to go into and describe those things a little bit more to you along the way, please let me know. Otherwise, we will just go on with the workshop. But any questions, Marissa, if there's anything that pops up that people desperately want me to answer, please let me know.
I will do.
Fabulous. So also, one of the three things we learned from this was that people really, really don't know where to start. And that didn't really surprise us very much, because like we said before, there is so much information out there. It spans across all industries. It spans across countries and spans across the globe. You can apply these sustainable practices to almost everything. So to actually bring it down into a practical application for SPA is actually quite hard, because some of the information is relevant and some of it isn't. So I think this workshop is actually quite timely. It's quite good in that, you know, we can really have a look at, where do we start actually? What do we do now that can make a difference? And I think with sustainability, it should be a journey that's really fun. It's not an insurmountable task. And I want to say that first, because I'm also going to say something else now, which is that it's a continuous journey. At the moment, people can't see an end, but that doesn't mean that it's insurmountable and that it's not something you can start to take those first steps in. So not knowing where to start sometimes is because the picture is so big, you don't know your place in it. So I think if we just go back now and have a look at the really key pillars of sustainability. So that is the 3 Ps: people, planet, and profits. So when we talk about people, and it's always important when you think about sustainability to just bring it back down to these 3 simple pillars. Does it hit a target for people in terms of employees, society or local community, or global humanity? Are our actions doing any harm, or are they making a positive impact? Or perhaps they're just neutral. But you can always go back to these 3 pillars and make that small assessment when you're making decisions within your SPA. So we've got people, teams, employees, community and society, and global humanity. Then planet, that's your SPA environment, your whole industry, and global environmental goals. And then profit, of course, because actually sustainability and a business sustainability in the past has always been about profit. Will our business survive financially? And of course, that is still a really important part of the picture. So does your SPA bottom line work? Are your choices on procurement giving you return on investment? And are you opening up your business to green investment opportunities? So without the profit, you can't benefit people within your teams. And actually, if you can't benefit the people in your teams, that can't benefit the environment around you as well. These 3 things link and go hand in hand all the time. They don't work separately, they work together. So investment in people, care for your environment, and the profitability of your business are highly important. And I think when you start to learn, which we can do another time perhaps, about triple bottom line reporting, this really becomes very, very apparent, because typically a business in the past will have always reported on the profit line. Now we're teaching spas to report on what they've done socially and community-wise, and to educate and empower their teams as well. So that's not a financial report. That's literally just, you know, what have you done that month to empower your teams? What have you done that month to contribute to the local community? And the same for Planet as well. What actions has your spa taken this month to improve your environmental footprint? You know, perhaps you changed your packaging, perhaps you changed the chemicals you use to clean the floors, perhaps you started to
Sorry.
that's okay. Perhaps you you know, started to reduce your plastic, your single-use plastics, etc. So each month per month you can have a look, you can see your figures and you can report on these things. And what you might find once you've done this for 12 months is that actually you can see a significant improvement in your profits, because you've invested in your people, you've reduced costs and impact, and actually you may even have attracted a new client base because you're communicating this to people who want to hear it as well, and they respect you for those decisions. So you start to see, when you report on the triple bottom line, how incredibly impactful sustainability can be to your business. So they are the three pillars I always want you to keep in mind: people, planet, and profit.
Lovely.
I hope that's given us a good kind of solid baseline for where we're going to start now on the workshop. So we're going to keep this really simple today. We don't need it to be complicated, in fact. So we're just going to look for a number of different things in the business, and you can do this on your own, but what I would really like, Marissa, if it's possible, is if we can get some interaction on the chat as well, so that people can help each other. So we're going to have a little reflect on what we're doing at the moment. We're going to look at what we can change, and then we're going to see how we can continue from here. So as the group moves forward, we'll identify some actions or processes that are currently in practice in your spa business, new ways in which you can do things in a more sustainable way, and actions that you can quickly implement as from today as a priority. So if everybody's got their sheets with them and in front of them, I think it'd be great now to just, actually, I tell you what I'll do, what I've forgotten to do before we do this, is we'll just have, while we're in reflection and thinking about our spa businesses and our operations now, I'll just share with you some ideas about what a sustainable spa should perhaps be considering in their business. So we have a kind of definition of sustainability for spas that we like to share with people. So we like to say that sustainable spas are committed to reducing harmful practices and exposure to harmful substances, and are open to learning and adopting and implementing new environmentally friendly strategies and techniques along the lines of the pillars of people, planet, and profit. So a sustainable spa, for example, would always look to conserve natural resources like water and energy, and operate in an environmentally friendly way. So creating a healthy and productive environment to work from, along the lines of nature where possible. Also adopting energy conservation practices, looking after water conservation, and that could be things like collecting rainwater or having grey water recycling practices within the business, or even just asking guests and staff to be very, very careful about their water consumption. They are committed to making procurement choices that support people, planet and profit. So looking down the supply chain of all of the products that you buy into the spa, are they single-use plastic? Is anything harmed in the production of that product? So deforestation, or is there human rights being exploited? And you know, aspects like that could be doing harm somewhere along the line before they get to your spa. We like to think that sustainable spas understand circular economy and waste reduction. So not actually being wasteful in the spa with products, not accepting single-use plastics and things that cannot be recycled, repurposed or reused, for example. Also to incorporate natural and organic skincare products and think about their own personal health regimes at home as well. Promote the well-being of employees and communities by empowering employees with new skills, helping them take part in the decision-making process, particularly when it comes to green decisions, because that's not something that has to have a hierarchy. You may find that within your spa, either your receptionist or your spa director can actually meet together on a level that is really interested in sustainability, and one may have better ideas than the other, but that whole collaborative feeling behind it is important. Sustainable spas also show their concern for the planet, so they express this to their guests, they share their goals, they measure them, and they report back on their successes. They also have policies that incorporate sustainable principles for guests to engage in and feel proud of as well. Sustainable spas believe in giving back and supporting development into further research for spa and wellbeing practices for the benefit of environmental health, human health, education, and fair distribution of wealth. And they also pay attention to the framework that is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as part of their business values. That's another big subject we can touch on another time. Okay, so I'll share my screen again now, but maybe we'll just have a little think about whether your spa is actually hitting those targets, whether you're really missing them, or whether there's something you could do better to kind of bring those practices in.
Amazing. So what questions would you like to ask everybody that they can go into the chat box and start filling in, you know, to get the conversation going? So what do you want to hear from them first?
From me?
No, from the group. What do you like to hear from them first?
So, am I looking in the chat box? Sorry, Marissa, I think I lost it there. Are you asking me to have a look, or? No,
I'm asking you what would you like to ask the group?
Okay.
Put into the chat box, because they
yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again now, and we can go back into the workshop. So what I'm really asking now is to just spend a little bit of time to have a think about what is it that you could do to make your spa perhaps a little bit more sustainable along the lines of the 3 Ps. And then use your sustainability quadrant, this one, to give yourself a score today. What would you score yourself out of 10 for your sustainable practices right now in your spa? And if you can just pop that into the chat box as well, and we can have a look at what people are saying about where they really feel they are in terms of their business practices now, because that will give us a really good idea of the sort of development perhaps that we can put in the future.
Okay, so everybody, what would you score your current businesses out of 10? Thinking about what Lucy said earlier on, people, planet, and profits. Okay, all relating to sustainability. What would you score your current model right now out of 10? Okay, Nungo, well done. First to answer.
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
Nice and honest.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is the whole thing. Just be honest, because actually it really doesn't matter where you are actually on your sustainability journey. We have spas that are coming to us who have done nothing. They're just starting, and we also have spas that have got sustainability embedded throughout their business. So it's really amazing to see the complete scale of where we are. So I love it when people are honest, because you can't make improvements unless you know where you are.
Correct. Okay, some more, everybody. We've got 1, 3,
Yeah.
5, 1. Who else? Come, everybody, put your scores there. Share your scores on the screen or on the chat as to where you are or where you would position your business.
Yeah, and
even
if people are not actually kind of currently working in spa, I don't know what everybody is, where everybody is in terms of their business at the moment, or whether they're just students, but you can also do this for yourself as well, personally.
Karen. So Karen works with me. And I'm quite a dragon when it comes to sustainability.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing, you know, if you're not in the business, you can still do this exercise for yourself on a personal level. So thank you, Marana. Yeah, I mean, I started by recycling everything when I was about 18 years old. And in the UK, that was before we even had kind of council facilities to do that. So I've been a dragon as well.
Okay, Laura's on a 6. Anybody else on your businesses?
Yeah.
On an 8. Well done.
That's great. That's really, really great, because there are some spas doing incredible things out there. And I think what I'd like to achieve from this workshop as well today is for people to share what they're doing and help those along the way too. So if we go back to here, so we've got now on the quadrant, you should have your score in your charts. So we can move on from there now. Okay. So we've done the reflecting.
Yes.
Now we want to think about what we could do to change. So the things I described as kind of like, you know, perfect spa, sustainability practices, and what we would like to be looking for, what we would accredit you for from the SSA. What would you like to do now within your business? 3 things. And I'd love you to put them in the chat box, because then we can share and really help each other along, or just write them down on your card if you don't want to share. But 3 things that you could change now to help you reach a 10 on your scoreboard.
I'm going to start putting in stuff as I think about it, if that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody get your fingers exercising. It's time for
get those fingers out.
Yes.
This has to be a collaborative exercise. So what have we got here? Find spas that allow to recycle. Now that's a really interesting point, because 98% of consumers want sustainable choices in the way they spend their money. And 88% of those 98 expect suppliers to help them do that. So they are looking to you as a spa to give them those choices. And so looking for spa brands that will allow you to recycle is a perfect example of that. So so stopping plastic bottled water, so single-use plastics, using less power.
I've got another one.
A laundry plan, of course. Biodegradable washing powders and liquids, and less laundry. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that we can do with the laundry. Actually, it's really interesting, because you can use less chemicals, but you can also make choices in the materials, the fabrics that you buy as well. Some of them use less water to clean, or they use cooler water. They take shorter times to dry and things like that. So it's a really big equation when it comes to textiles. Disposable gloves. Sure. Disposable gloves. I can actually send Marissa a link to some disposable gloves. What you should be looking for is nitrile gloves. Maybe I'll type that in.
Why are those better? Lucy? Why are
They are
well,
biodegradable. But I think what I would like to say, when it comes to biodegradable, it really does depend on the circumstances. So they're biodegradable under certain conditions. So always make sure you know what those conditions are for them to be biodegradable, because if they're put in a bag and put into landfill, it could take a very long time. If they're put in the right conditions, which is usually composting, then they will biodegrade much quicker.
Okay, awesome.
Let me give you a link, and actually if you do this link through our website, you will get 10% off your orders with this company as well. So they're called the Mask Brothers. They are in the UK, but they deliver everywhere, so internationally. Oh, your 1 is turning into a 3 already. Fantastic. Okay, so the top things, what have we got? We've got using biodegradable gloves, laundry, not using certain products like grapeseed oil. And I imagine that's probably because of the supply chain.
No, I think, Lucy, the reason I recommend, I'm not a fan of grapeseed oil because it's so thick and disgusting.
Oh, okay. It's a personal choice, yeah.
Yes, but the reason I'm saying that is grapeseed oil completely attaches itself as a molecule to the lid, which makes it so difficult to get out of, and you're increasing your carbon footprint because now you have to use more aggressive chemicals to get that grapeseed oil out of your linen.
It's absolutely true, and it also makes the textile harder to recycle as well.
Much harder. So I avoid it. We've got, as part of our brand, the oils that we use are actually fully water soluble. So they dissolve in an instant and all biodegradable ingredients. So, you know, like we said, I'm quite big on this biodegradable story.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just make sure that you know what conditions things are biodegradable in.
Yes.
And of course, like you're saying, with the water soluble oils.
So Lucy, while you're on that subject of biodegradable, what do we need to find out or ask when somebody says it's biodegradable? What do we need to ask?
Yeah, so I think if someone says something is biodegradable, then you need to be asking under what conditions. Because biodegradable, this could be greenwashing. This is something that we're very hot on at the SSA as well. This is why we really look at our suppliers that work with us, because we need to know that they actually got evidence behind what they're saying. Otherwise, that is greenwashing. So they are giving you false hopes. So most products that are biodegradable need to go into compost, but you will need to ask, what are the conditions under which this product is biodegradable? But then the responsibility lies with you to put it in those correct conditions on disposal.
Okay.
Yeah. And some good examples I've heard recently of some, you know, of greenwashing is, you know, coffee companies, for example, changing to cardboard cups and things, and saying they're biodegradable, but actually you can see people in the coffee shops, it's not necessarily their fault, but you know, sometimes the staff, sometimes the guests, just putting them into the normal bin. Now that's not going to work. They're not biodegradable in a plastic bag in landfill. So it's really important to understand how are they biodegradable.
Okay, interesting. We've got here some other things. Lucy, what are your comments on them? Paper or bamboo earbuds versus plastic? Is that a good one?
Oh God, absolutely. Anywhere where there's single-use plastic, avoid it completely. This is one of the most simple things you can bring into your spa very quickly and easily. It's just a procurement choice. You just say no and you look for an alternative. Absolutely no plastics. And another thing, just kind of moving on from not just the procurement choice, but also the way these products are delivered to you. If they're being delivered in cardboard boxes full of plastic packaging, you need to talk to the supplier and say, we will not accept this anymore. We want your product, but could you deliver it to us in another way? And we're going to be bringing this policy in from X date. Otherwise, we will need to change suppliers if you can't support us. But most of the time, they are they're really helpful, and they're actually working towards alternatives as well. So it's just a little bit of an extra nudge. Okay.
Okay, read that last one and tell me what you think.
What about using urns for hot water instead of running taps? Yeah. Yes. I mean, of course, that's better because depending on your energy supplier, of course, and the cost of the energy. But yeah, that could work. Okay. Fixing dripping taps, that is a really good one. I think actually when it comes to some of your kind of utilities, actually repair of the utilities and good upkeep of your utility services is probably one of the best things you can do that's environmentally friendly, because it's wastage, leakage, inefficiency over water and energy that can really cost you a lot of money over time. Osmosis water filter system. Oh, that's fantastic. That's really good, because that's on demand. There's nothing being heated unless it's needed. So that's fab. So hopefully we've got some things in the box now that you think you can do right now in your business that would help you to score a higher score than you put in the box in the first place. And now what we need to find out is what's stopping you. Why wouldn't you be able to do that now? What are the obstacles that you're facing? So if we have a look at your list, you have a look and just type in the box what obstacles you're facing to achieving these problems. Yeah. So cost, time or motivation, lack of understanding, lack of planning. Yeah, cost is always one that comes up, whether it's big or small decisions. And quite often you will find that there is a return on investment somewhere down the line. So you have to make sure that the choices you're making, one, you want to do them for the good of the environment or people, but also if you're making those choices, communicate them to your guests, because people might choose you because of that. I mean, if we look at Marissa as an example, Marissa, would you go to a spa that had loads of single-use plastic? Or if you did, would you go back?
Well, I would definitely say something to them right there and then.
Yeah.
Right there.
So if someone was thinking, oh my gosh, I can't change from, cotton, plastic to cotton or bamboo or whatever, paper, earbuds, for example, just as a small example, I mean, that might be a reason for you not to go back or to make a complaint. Yeah. So it's that's just one small example. But if it was communicated to you as a guest when you went in that that every choice you make, everything that you put in front of them has been thought about, that it's not affecting the environment, that it's not affecting fair trade and people down the line, then you may well think, actually, do you know what? I respect this brand. I respect these people, and I'm going to go back to that spa. So you may have had to make a bigger investment, but you're going to be attracting the right type of clients to your spa. So what else have we got in here? Being in a third world country with no support. Yeah. So Lucia, what country are you in?
She's in Angola.
Angola. Okay. Yeah. And so we're going to be working very closely with spa associations across the globe to look at the most pressing needs for sustainability in the future. So we should be able to give more support when we know what support is needed in further away places from the UK or Europe. So yeah, we're certainly looking into that immediately as from June. So hopefully we can give better some advice on that. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. So we've got, what do you think, Marissa? What are the biggest obstacles there? Cost, availability?
Yes, somebody who's on Facebook, Mena, she's watching on Facebook Live, is that one of the challenges, and I tend to agree with her, is staff buy-in.
Is staff buy-in?
Yeah, in other words, the staff to buy into the sustainability initiative the same way that the business would be. I think that is a little bit of a challenge, not too much, but they're not always in the same frame of mind and in the same mindset. Yeah, Tiffany is saying she agrees. It really just depends what level of staff or at, you know, how, I'm trying to use the right words, how educated on the sustainability subject they are, because it is something that is not new, but it's starting to get really important now. Not everybody's up to speed with what the effort should be. So I would say staff, lack of support, cost for some seems to be here. Also mind, and Marilee's got a good one, mind and attitude shift. So again, you know, we've got so used to operating in a certain way. I also think for me, what I see as our groups and most of the salons and spas that I deal with is if there's no plan, then this will not happen. So unless we all sit back and we say, right, let's appoint a sustainability champion or whatever you want to call them. That champion, so if I was at Sherbet Angel, Marilee would be my sustainability champion because she has 452 plants that she looks after every day. So she would be my sustainability champion. And then that person comes up with a plan, which is then translated to the, but if there's no plan, then there's no ways everybody's going to be on the same page.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And these are very, very similar obstacles that people were expressing that were coming back in our global survey as well. So if we just take these top three, so we've got staff buy-in and mindsets, we've got availability for procurement choices, and we've got costs. Okay, so let's take these one by one. And I think let's start with staff buy-in and mindset. So we identified this in our global survey, and it actually made us really change the way we have structured our association as well. So instead of offering spas and accreditation, we completely broke it down. We made the membership fee really low and accessible. And now there's so much more that we have to offer that is before you would go anywhere near having your spa accredited. So when I was saying earlier about the initiatives and monthly focuses that we have, this is all to encourage staff buy-in. This is all to change behaviour within your team and within your spa, from everybody, from perhaps even, people, kind of auxiliary staff in the spa, to spa directors. So this is for everybody, and everyone can do this. And when we say green team, we think actually what you should do is have a self-elected green team. You should say, depending on the size of your business, but one of the greatest things to do is say, right, we want to start implementing green spa strategy into this business. Put your hand up if you're in, or if you're interested, or you've got something to contribute, because those people who put their hands up and say, we want to do this, we completely agree with you, they are going to be the ones that have the passion and the drive to really, really pull this forward, and also give their other team members that little nudge to say, come on, how could you think that single-use plastic is okay? There's all these alternatives, and we don't have to be affecting the environment. And that passion, just that all these small changes that they can make are really, really important. So the initiatives that we run, you can follow on our social media as well. But most of the information is within the member portal, but we always give quite a bit of information out, so it's worth following. We also have a couple of diplomas. So in identification that you know, we have to get staff of all levels involved in this. This isn't a management down decision. This is for everybody. So we've got diplomas that either are great for onboarding new team members or for educating the team right from the get-go on sustainable principles. And we've got a spa management diploma as well, which is more kind of about motivating, keeping that wheel rolling, looking at procurement and triple bottom line and SDGs and everything that they can do to keep the team coming along with them. So I totally agree on the staff buy-in, but I think that the person who starts with the passion can influence everybody else. You don't have to do loads of education. It starts with someone with the passion.
100%.
Yes. And, you know, that I think it really, really works. Availability. So availability of procurement choices. Now, you know, this is a really, really big issue, particularly in, you know, kind of places where perhaps there's issues with manufacturing or things that have to travel a long way to get to that spa, because that also poses another environmental risk in terms of the transportation. So you have to kind of weigh up sometimes, and it's always better to buy local. And if you can't find what you need, availability wise in procurement, are there any alternatives? We did a great case study with Ashford Castle in Ireland, and they've actually started to make their own bowls out of wood on the land. They've started to use their old linen as cases for the dry cleaning to come back in, instead of it coming back in plastic packaging. If they do receive any plastic, they will always find a reuse for it. They absolutely think every single time, what's the alternative and what can we do? And it might not be something that's typically procured in the spa industry. You might be creative about it. Is there an alternative? And then when it comes to costs, like we touched on before, return on investment can span across many different aspects. So it could be big investments that you're making in terms of water waste and energy management, but are there funds or grants available in your country to allow you to do that? Have you explored the possibility of funding towards helping your business do that? Or is it a case of better communication to your guests and your team in terms of acquiring new revenues or even acquiring new type of guests to your spa? So those are the things to think about in terms of what's stopping you. And then now that we've discussed that, what can you continue to do next steps? Even if you come away from this with one little thing you can do, then that is a fantastic way to go forward. So it would be great to hear now if anybody's come away with even one thing they can do.
Definitely. Okay, everybody, let's all go into the chat box. What is going to be your next sustainability initiative? Let's share. And I suppose it's all about holding each other accountable, right? Because we're all in this together. So let's hear. Let's hear.
What can we do? No more plastic. I think, do you know, I think this is the great way to start. This is just because you can really measure this and you can really see the results. So you can measure how much plastic you're using now. You can set yourself a target. And you can ask everybody, guests and your spa teams, to come on board and do this with you. So yeah, I think, do you know what? We've got a single-use plastic pledge that people can take. And if they want to do that, I can put the link in the box if you like.
Yes,
and we can help them along the way.
Yes, they can take the pledge. Okay, everybody. So while Lucy's going to put that link, Let's hear from the rest of you. Come, there's lots of you on here. What else? What is going to be your next step? Come, everybody. Tiffany, what's yours? Okay, Nicole. Finding an alternative paraffin wax, mask, pedi plastic bags. Okay.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Let me find my link for the plastic pledge. Hold on.
We'll take my cup next door coffee shop when ordering a coffee takeaway. Brilliant. Recycling points. Try and buy more locally. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. Okay, who else? Who else? Come, there's lots of you there. Come, everybody. Please share what's going to be your next step.
Yeah, we'd love to know because it helps everybody else as well.
Of course, yes.
Okay, I have found a couple of links I can give you. So when people get in touch, then we can help them a little bit further, a little bit more deeply. So I think what we're coming out of with here, from here, is really the single-use plastics, buying locally and recycling, which I know they seem simple, but actually they're the best places to start. And then from there, when that feels comfortable and you feel like you've got people on board with you, then you can take some further steps deeper into sustainability, which really make big differences to your business.
Okay, and Buddy says she's going to start with training of her staff. I think that's brilliant.
I think that is an incredible way to start. Buddy, I wish you the best of luck with that. If you need any help, please do let Marissa know, and she can come and pick my brains.
No, that's amazing. It really does start there, I suppose. Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything to share? What is going to be your next step towards sustainability in your business? No more next steps?
No more next steps. So I think we've got some good next steps though, Marissa, and I think people are kind of going to feel more empowered to have a go as well, because it's not something that's insurmountable. It's something you can do. It's something you have control of, and it's something that you need to shout about as well to get everybody behind you, from your teams to your guests.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Okay,
yeah, less paper as well on the computer. Perfect.
Lovely. Okay,
going digital. Yes.
Definitely educating the staff. Okay, fantastic. Lucy, next steps for everybody. Do you want to put up, is the link that you put there the link?
Well, that's like a green spa checklist. So they can just have a quick look at how their spa, kind of is performing. And then I can also, I'm trying to find the plastics list as well. Let me see if I can find that one for you. If not, can I send it to you, Marissa?
Yes. I think that what will be nice after this session.
Yeah, I think so, because I don't want to waste time on here. I can't find it right now, but I'll send it to you.
Perfect. And then we'll send it out maybe with that pledge as well.
Yeah.
Also, perhaps a link to your site as well, so that they can go and have a look, navigate the way through that site. But I think it's a great place to start for all of us. We all need to really jump on this. Here we go, sustainablespas.org. That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
On there, you can download the Spa Waste Not Challenge as well. So there's a brief, there's education, it's free. It's not to do with the membership. It's just to take part in the challenge alongside, 55 or so other spas in the world who are doing the same.
I love it. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so everybody, thank you very much. Lucy, thanks for the time that you've taken.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yes, thank you so much. You've really given us a lot to think about. And you've given us a starting point for some. And for others, you've given them a greater motivation to even take their sustainability efforts a bit further.
Yeah.
So everybody, can we please have a little word? So obviously all the thank yous to you are there.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. We will win.
Yes, we will.
We will win.
Can we please have a word to explain how you're feeling now? Okay, brilliant. There we go.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. There's so much we can do together. Marissa and I met earlier this year, and like she said, you know, we've worked closely since then, and we will continue to work together as well. So that is going to be wonderful. We've got a long way ahead, Marissa.
Yes, I'm ready. I was inspired a long time ago, and now I'm even more inspired. So
fantastic.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Have the most fantastic day, everyone. And then while we're here, we have a birthday girl in the house. It is Shani, our co-founder of Spa Professionals Guild. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Shani, from all of us and from the Sustainability live broadcast too. We hope you have the most wonderful day. And thank you for everything that you do for all of us at Spa Professionals Guild.
Thank you, Shani, and happy birthday. Have a fantastic evening.
Super, super. Okay, everyone, have the best day or the best night or wherever you are around the world. And let's just all keep that sustainability in the back of our minds, and let's get those plans in place. Let's make our pledges and just keep it going, okay? Keep moving, everyone. Alrighty, ciao, ciao.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.